Jet lag. It can ruin a trip before it even begins. Today, I am going to go over favorite jet lag fixes, those that I've tried in the past that didn't work so well, so that on your next international trip or trip that's longer than 6 hours, you can hit the jet bridge running, be recovered, and ready to enjoy all the sights. Let's fly into it. First things first, what is jet lag? Basically is your circadian rhythm is misaligned. The different time zones, we follow those that are normal patterns. Say you go to bed at 10 o'clock Pacific time. Well, that's 3 hours later, just going to the East Coast, which can kind of mess with your system. Or say you're going from Dallas in Central Time all the way to London, which is an 8-hour time difference, then you're really talking with messing with your sleep patterns. What we want to do is to get as close to possible to the time when we land. And it takes a little training to get our body on that new time so that when we arrive there and stay that week or 2 weeks, we can get back on their time schedule and enjoy things that happen on their time and not our time back home. By the end of this video, I'm going to have shared my favorite ways that we conquer jet lag. It's not going to be perfect, but these are ways our body can adjust quicker so that we don't have so much downtime when we have a little bit of vacation time. We want to use it to the maximum. Method number 1 starts 3 to 4 days before your flight. That is adjusting your sleep pattern 30 to 60 minutes per night. Adjust it closer to your destination's time zone. What I will do is kind of keep track, and I have an Aura ring, ways that you can track your sleep pattern over those next 3 to 4 nights. Tell your body, this is when we're going to start going to bed, and this is when we're going to start getting up for these next 7 to 10 days when you're at your destination. And along with that, I will up my hydration with water as well as adding in some hydration powder 2 to 3 days before we fly any trip, even if it's a short flight, long flight, just because that air up there is so dry. I try and make sure that I get at least half my body weight in water per day, and then also add in more water-filled fruits and vegetables, apples, cucumbers, celery, things like that, so that I'm not constantly going to the bathroom, but it's staying in my system longer. Sleep, water, method number 1. Method number 2, my sleep or comfort gear for the plane. We will take 1 neck pillow. I don't usually use it. Once in a while, maybe, and sometimes he will too. It just depends. If you get a neck pillow, make sure a couple things, that this back part is thin so that it's not constantly pushing your neck forward, or sometimes we use it as like a neck brace. Make sure the sides have enough comfort on whatever pillow that you find that you like, so that when your head bobs or leans, that it can catch it. A lot of the airplane seats now do have adjustable headrests, so that helps. And that's mainly the reason that I don't really use a neck pillow anymore. And I always travel with one of my blanket scarves. This one you can attach to your personal item bag on the outside. This one I use, it's also a big cashmere blanket scarf. I can use that as a pillow as well as my blanket. Being that we travel with a carry-on suitcase and a personal item only, I have to find things that are going to be compact, multi-use. And this has been my travel buddy on long flights, short flights, and everything in between. It's a blanket, it's a pillow, it's a scarf to use as an accessory. Love them. These can also be used as an eye cover. I'm also not an eye mask person. A lot of people swear by them. If you have a good suggestion for an eye mask that you use, please put it in the comments for others. Usually on those long haul flights, the lights are dimmed, but say you're sitting by the lavatory, in the back and the middle and towards the front of the plane where the flight attendants do all of their prep. That area is usually lighted up. If that bothers you, make sure that you have something to cover your eyes. A non-negotiable for me on any flight is noise canceling headphones. I have both the over the ear and the AirPods. It just depends on what's most comfortable for you when you're trying to sleep. My husband has a pair of the Beats, which he swears by, something that's going to fit snugly in your ear, noise canceling, comfortable to sleep in. Along with the noise canceling headphones, something that helps me sleep, reading. Whether I'm using my physical book or I'm a big audiobook listener, for some reason it just helps me doze off. I am not a very good sleeper in general. Anything that I can find that kind of helps me fall asleep is perfect. Audio systems, I've used 3 different ones. Libby is a free library app to get audiobook. Libro FM is a great one, and it also supports local bookstores that you choose your favorite, and anytime you make a purchase, it will donate to your favorite local bookstore that you choose. Audible is another option. I set my timer for 30 minutes, so when I fall asleep, I'm not losing track of where I was in my book too, because that's just a pain to find out where it was. If you don't like to listen to anything, earplugs. Something that's going to block out that noise. 777 full of 300 plus people, you want to be able to block out the noise. The other non-negotiable for me are socks, and these stay in my personal item bag for every trip, because sometimes if I wear like ankle jeans, something like that, and it gets cold up there at 35,000 feet, these are cozy. They came in a 3-pack, and I love the part at the ankle where it is big and cushy. Pull those on over my regular socks, and I'm ready to snuggle up with my scarf, my socks, my book. Good night. Method 3 is hydration for the outside. That airplane air, even though the newer 787s have a better filtration system, hydration, still very dry up there. Between your getting your water, which contradictory when I say try and get some sleep, but also try and keep hydrating through the flight. Try and get 8 ounces. So it's like wake up, drink, go back to sleep. Probably not. But we just try our best. Eating apples that has that fiber with the hydration in it to kind of keep it in longer also helps. For the outside, hand cream, non-negotiable. My hands are dry to begin with. Always have lotion in my bag. The other thing that I use, mainly just on our long haul flights, I don't do it on my shorter flights, is eye cream under the eyes there. This spray, I may spray this 2 or 3 times on a flight, just kind of that extra moisture, and then a hydration mask. All 3 of those have helped on my long haul flights, so I don't feel like a crispy fall leaf when I get off the plane. And along with drinking more water, hydration, take out the caffeine and the alcohol. On fly day, flights usually leave in the evening, so I will have my first cup of coffee when I get up in the morning. I only have one, and then I'm done with caffeine for the rest of the day. I switch to my water, and on we go. The other thing is alcohol. I'm not a big drinker to begin with, but in that 3 to 4 days, I won't have any alcohol. And on the flight, people say it's a downer. It is, but if you've ever tracked your sleep, it is not a good sleep. Adding that alcohol in is not going to be a way to get a good sleep on an airplane in an airplane seat for a long period of time. Everybody's different. Sharing my system and what works for me, you always do you. Method 4 is once you're in the airplane. So now we're boarding the plane. Goes without saying, the middle seat is the worst. If possible, don't book a middle seat. On those larger 787s, 777s, I know. The 2 rows with all the ones in the middle, that's a tough one. The best is, in my opinion, by the window. because you can use that also to lean on and get a little more comfortable, versus if you're in the aisle, you got to adjust to carts and people walking by and being bumped. Window seat preferred. The very back of the plane is where the turbulence is going to be the worst. From the wings forward, it's going to be less jarring if you run into turbulence. You want to pick those seats wings and forward to get the most calm flight possible, as well as don't sit by the lavatories and don't sit by the common areas where the flight attendants prep all of the food and the beverage, and where people, when they get up to move about, will go stand. Some in-flight spots to avoid. Method number 5 is when I will pull out my micro movements. I had read a book years ago. It was all about hydration and how we get hydration through our entire body. And one of those things were micro movements. So we're on an airplane, it's cramped space to begin with. It's not as if you can get up and do a little flash dance. When you're sitting in your seat, you can still move small parts of your body, which, do rotations, neck to shoulder, and then yes, no. Same thing, lifting up knees to chest, do ankle rotations. All of those little micro movements keep the water kind of moving throughout our body. Best of all of it would be to at least get up every 3 to 4 hours and actually walk your body. Make a little rectangle out of it. It doesn't take much. And it also will prevent DVT, which is you need to keep your blood circulating. You can prevent blood clots. Along with that would be wearing looser clothing. More breathable is best. Cottons, cashmeres, 100% wool, those types of clothing. But anything that's going to be comfortable on you to help you sleep and loose. Everything flowing will also be better for sleep, for your circulation, jet lag. And method number 6 is grounding. I had read about this years ago, and it's basically getting your physical feet on the ground as soon as you land, like bare feet in the grass. I'm not a barefoot person, so I don't subscribe to that piece of it. As soon as we are off the plane through customs at our destination, we drop our bags in the hotel. Do not sit down. We drop the bags and we head for a walk around the area that we're staying at the very least. Maybe we'll venture a little bit further, but we keep moving and have an earlier dinner and then head back to the room. But at the very least, we're making it to dinner time so that we can start our progress to get us back on that sleep schedule of wherever we are vacationing. The best method for me over the years in this combination, that is 1, adjusting my sleep schedule 3 to 4 nights before. Hydration, minimum 48 hours before we even leave, kind of amp that up, as well as along the flight. Stay away from the saltier snacks that's going to dehydrate. Staying away from heavy meats, heavy foods that either may upset your stomach or doesn't settle well. That's going to keep you awake. Pack snacks that you tolerate well and that don't bother you. That's another good thing to keep in your bag. Once we get on the ground, we don't sit down, we keep walking, have a light dinner, and then maybe call it early. Say the local time around 6:30 to 8. We will try and kind of wind down. The next day, we are up and ready to go. There are certain times, depending on which time zones that you're adjusting to, but most of these trips that we've taken, we've been able to adjust pretty quickly within the first day and be on our way to enjoying our vacation and not sleep deprived or jet lagged. If you have a tried and true way that you conquer your jet lag on your trips, add it in the comments below, because the more tips, the more helpful for everybody, because we are all so different. Some of us, like my husband, can fall asleep like that, and others of us sit there and stare at the ceiling hoping for sleep to catch us at some point. These are the ways that I have conquered our jet lag on all of our international trips. Thanks for being here, along with that pilot wife lady, here to share all the travel tips to help you travel well, travel light, and travel in your own kind of style. Happy travels. This is why I use scarves. I feel like a chipmunk. Okay. Great cover. Updrate. You want to poke.